So, what five kings do you need to kill for freedom? I know it might sound crazy, but I want to go back to Joshua. And Joshua was like a Navy SEAL. God was his commander. He was given assignments. He was a faithful soldier. God was delivering victories left and right because Joshua was being obedient. And it came to a point where when I started to think about the concept of the five kings that Joshua had to kill for freedom, and in that context of conquering and battle and war, there was five actual kings. But on the spiritual side, I started thinking about what are the kings in our lives? In Joshua's time, these kings had banded together, they bonded together, and they attacked an ally of Joshua and the Israelites. And then when Joshua went on the attack to root out these kings, they hid themselves in caves. And once they were discovered, Joshua had his men roll big stones over the mouth of the cave. And then at a time when Joshua was ready, he ordered his men to roll the stones back. And he slaughtered all five of those kings. Actually put their heads up and he hung them up on poles until the nighttime to make the sign of conquering. And I started thinking from a spiritual side, we have kings in our lives, kings such as maybe fear, apprehension, um, addictions, things, alcoholism, drugs, pornography, maybe just embarrassment or hesitation. You know, especially with this time that we're in right now, there's all types of kings that have the potential to rule over our lives. So I started thinking, I'm like, in my life, what are five kings that I need to slay? What are five kings that from my past have teamed up and defeated the allies, the good things in my life? Things such as faith and optimism and hope and joy and love, or family and productivity. You see, we all have kings, evil kings that'll bond together, that'll band together, right? Maybe it's sickness or disease. Maybe it's depression. Maybe it's suicide ideation, and all these things bond together, and then they bond together to defeat the hope that you have in your life, the hope that you want to cling to claim the promise of God. So, just like Joshua did, it comes a time where they may have been captive. You're maybe it's addiction, right? Maybe it's alcoholism. Maybe it's pornography. Maybe you've not clicked that link to that website in months, maybe even a year. But it still means that it's still active. You see, it's hidden in a cave. Maybe you put a big stone over it, right? But at some point, that stone has got to be rolled away, and you've got to slay that evil king that threatens your peace, that threatens your hope, your joy, your faith, your love, your future. So I challenge you. Let's think about the kings in our lives, the evil kings that rule over us. And I want to give you the same charge that Joshua gave his men. It said that and this is from Joshua 10:25. Then Joshua said to them, "Do not be afraid, nor be dismayed. Be strong and of good courage, for thus the Lord will do all your enemies against whom you fight." God's going to defeat all those enemies. You've got kings, God's going to defeat them. But you've got to be willing to identify them. You've got to be willing to roll the rock back that's keeping them hidden, and you've got to be willing to expose them so that they can be slain, so that you can have freedom in your life. So I challenge you, make a list, write it out. Five kings that threaten your kingdom, your hope, your peace, your joy. God loves you. God's waiting for you to break free. God will break those chains if you're only willing to take them out and expose them to him and give them up and say, you got to break these shackles off my hands and my feet. But you've got to be the one to lift them up and make them available to him. So we love you. We're praying for you, and God bless you.